about what you and the Republican Party call the Biden border crisis, this idea that he created it since coming to office. Let me just put some numbers up on screen. You can see clearly from those CBP numbers that since the pandemic and since Title 42 was brought in to expel asylum seekers at the start of the pandemic, border apprehensions have gone up month after month. The truth is Joe Biden did not inherit falling numbers. He inherited 9 consecutive months of increases at the border. It's right there on screen for single adults and for families and kids.
Yeah, I'm not sure where you're getting your data from. Look, in February, we had over 100,000 crossings. Back in November, there was about 800 people in CBP custody. Now there's about 10,000. Migrants will tell you, as reporters are interviewing them, that Joe Biden invited them. The drug cartels are passing this information along. Look, there was very specific policies that were reversed as soon as Biden took office. As you mentioned, that I said in our Twitter exchange. Remain in Mexico policy, and really importantly, the asylum cooperative agreements with Northern Triangle countries. This basically reinstates a process of catch and release. When people think that they're going to come across the border, as long as they have a child with them, and they're going to be released, then that's a huge incentive to come across, especially when they're going to get a bus ticket wherever they want, and now a hotel room, because that's what's being funded. So the incentives are pretty obvious, and we have to ask ourselves the question, is this a sustainable policy? And is this fair to millions and millions of people around the world who have valid asylum claims that now are getting clogged into the system and can't get their claims heard?
A lot of claims made there, which we'll try to unpack in the brief time we have together. I just want to stick to one. You said, I don't know where you're getting the numbers from. Let's just pull up the graph again. That is a graph from the American Immigration Council based on CBP figures. Those are CBP numbers. If we pull up the graph, I just want you to have a look at that graph we just had. That's 9 straight months. You can see there, Title 42 expulsion.
I can't see the graph, but I can tell you, I just got the phone.
Well, let me tell you, it's 9 straight months. Hold on, Congressman. 9 straight months of increases in immigrants being apprehended at the border. Joe Biden did not inherit
just to be clear,
9 months of fall.
Just to be clear, you're just denying that this massive increase happened in the last couple of months. We're just denying that?
No, I didn't deny there was a massive increase. I can agree there's a massive increase. Can you agree there were 9 months of increases prior to Biden coming into office? That's what the CBP figures have shown.
These are not substantial increases. Look, I just got off the phone with one of the former CBP chiefs. There's about 1,000 people released into the U.S.
Okay. But there were 9 months of increase. That's all I want us to agree on.
We agree.
Okay.
But we agree there's a crisis now, right? I mean, we have that premise in common, right? There's a crisis now that needs to be reversed. Can we agree on that premise?
I'll come back to the crisis word in a moment. I just want to check something else you said. You made these claims on Fox News last week. Have a listen.
This happened overnight, okay, when President Biden rescinded the Remain in Mexico policy, when they rescinded the asylum cooperation agreements with the Northern Triangle countries, when they said, hey, we're not going to deport you when you come. So Biden has the nerve to say quietly, hey, don't come, wink, don't come here, don't come here. If you come here, we're going to give you a bus ticket wherever you want, and we're not going to deport you.
I'll come back to your Remain in Mexico and asylum cooperation agreement points in a moment. But the rest of that, Congressman, is just not true. How can you say the Biden administration isn't deporting people? Last month, nearly 3 out of 4 people encountered at the border were expelled straight away under Title 42. 72% of people encountered at the border last month, apprehended, were instantly expelled. So how is what you said on Fox true? It isn't.
Look, over the course of 2020, 1,000 people came illegally into the U.S. and then were released in the interior of the U.S. And in just the year 2021, it's 20,000. Right, it just comes straight out of Border Patrol. It was just down there a couple of weeks ago. So again, there are very specific instances of policy reversals that have caused a massive spike in illegal immigration and people incentivized to come across our border. I'm not sure why we're debating that point. I think we should debate what to do about it.
I'm wondering why you went on Fox and say people are not being deported when 72% of the people apprehended at the border last month were deported under Joe Biden. Can you deal with that point?
You just played what I said. I never said nobody was getting deported. And so, look, our system works fairly well. You just played what I said, and I know I didn't say that. You said,
hold on. You said, hold on. You said, you can't, listen, hold on. You said, Biden has the nerve to say, don't come, wink, don't come here, don't come here. If you're coming here, we're going to give you a bus ticket wherever you want. We're not going to deport you. 72% of people apprehended at the border last month were deported.
So thank you for proving me right and saying I didn't say he's not deporting anybody. So what happens is, this is complicated, so let's unpack this. For single adults crossing the border, our system is still intact. It still works okay. Single adults illegally crossing the border generally do get deported. Family units are much more difficult to deal with. This has been the case ever since 2014. A court case called the Flores settlement basically caused an incentive to come across the border. This is why Obama dealt with it. This is why Trump has dealt with it. And this is why Biden dealt with it. So when you tell people, if you bring a child with you, you're going to be released into the interior, well, then they're going to have a bigger incentive to come. Now, under the Trump administration, they said, okay, we're going to tell you to remain in Mexico and adjudicate your claim there. Or even better, you can go to your home country or a neighboring country and adjudicate your asylum claim there. So you don't have to go through these smuggling routes, which are unsafe. And you're basically running into the open arms of the drug cartels. You know what this is funding drug cartels.
I promise we will come back to remain in Mexico. I've got a question I want to get into it with you, but I just need to deal with this first. You accept that 72% of people apprehended at the border are expelled. Can we agree on that under CBP statistics? You agree with that?
That sounds right. Sounds right. But it doesn't, it also, but there's also 20,000 at least family units released.
Hold on. So then it's a lie to say there's an open border, as Republicans, Kevin McCarthy, your leader, and others keep saying there's an open border. That's false. If 72% of people are being deported, how is that an open border? That's just a lie.
Well, the vast majority of people are in these family units that do not get deported. There's also at least 1,000 a day. Just got off the phone with Border Patrol. Just got off the phone with Border Patrol. Now listen to what I'm about to say. 1,000 a day runaway, people who get away. Because here's the thing, you have to understand this too. When Border Patrol is dealing with hundreds and hundreds of family units at a time, because the drug cartels say, hey, you pay $300 a person and you walk across there and you turn yourself into Border Patrol, they're just going to let you go. And that's exactly what happens. But here's what happens. Border Patrol becomes babysitters, they become bus drivers, they become nurses. You know what they're not doing? Patrolling the border. Drug cartels love this. They can go around, they get people babysitters.
I'm just going to
talking points. These are facts. You should go down there. You need to go down there and see this for yourself. I don't think these are facts.
I mean, a CBP officer is not a babysitter, but let me just ask you this. I just need to finish this. It cannot be an open border. It cannot be an open border if 72% of people are removed. That's just nonsensical to claim that. You know that. I know that. Your party leader in the House.
But again, you're arguing with people.
Open border.
If you want to accuse somebody else of a lie, I would say there's an effective open border. That's what I would say. Look, if you want to accuse somebody else of saying things, but you haven't been able to fact check me on this because I didn't say it.
Even though three-quarters of migrants, well, I'm fact-checking you now, it's not an effective open border if the vast majority of people get expelled and adults are not welcome and the Biden administration...
You should go down there and see for yourself. When hundreds of people a night, this is at a single place, at a single crossing point. When I was down in Starr County in Texas, the single crossing point when hundreds of people a night come across and they get released into the interior, that's an effective open border.
Yes. So let's talk about the children, because it's only the children who are being allowed and not being turned away under Title 42. That is what Biden did. He changed the position. Trump was expelling unaccompanied children under Title 42, the pandemic ruling. And Biden is saying children can stay. That's why there are a record number of children in detention. I think that's a good thing. You don't. You would rather expel unaccompanied children. You would tell the 4-year-old boy from Honduras who was found in a river last month, you would send him back to Honduras on his own, a 4-year-old. That's what you would do.
We would never send him back on his own. So the administration's been really maliciously lying about the actual process of Title 42. They would have you believe, and I think Mayorkas said this, we're not going to put orphans back in the desert. Well, nobody should put orphans back in the desert. That's a good policy. Don't do that.
That's exactly
but what they actually... Well, okay, you just told a lie. That's not exactly what they were doing. And again, you need to research this. You need to go to the border. You need to talk to Border Patrol and see what the actual process was. Here's what actually happened. When unaccompanied minors come across, they get processed, they get health care, they get housing, they get fed, they get on a charter plane. We ensure that they are met by government officials who then reunite them with families there. This process is extremely meticulous. No unaccompanied minor is just sent back. That has never been the process.
You
got to tell the truth about this.
You are in favor of throwing them out. Well, are you telling the truth? Are you in favor of expelling unaccompanied minors? Yes or no?
Well, would you like to change the law under Title 42? Let's argue about that. I mean, look, I think orphans coming to the border. I think it's a really.
Joe Biden is not expelling children. Are you happy about that or not?
I don't think young children. I think young children who are truly orphaned at our border, we can take care of them, and we should put them through Health and Human Services. I want to give you another statistic, though. 75% of the supposed unaccompanied minors are over 15